the other question I'm going to ask them that real quick.
How are you?
Hello. Everybody ready?
Ready.
Everybody ready? Good evening. We'd like to welcome everyone to our October, can't believe that, October City School Board of Education meeting. If you've seen the agenda, it looks like there's a potential for a good meeting, so we'll see what we can do. If everybody would, please rise, and Dr. Gardner is going to lead us in a moment of silence and pledge the flag.
Okay, let's bow our heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's time for citizens to speak in accordance with Board Policy 1.404. Anyone wishing to address the board, please come forward, state your name and your address. Seeing no one, it's time to approve the consent and regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. You might have any questions or comments on the agenda?
I just wanted to say that this Harvard Vanderbilt sales program sounds like a really good program. I'm glad the high school's involved in it. Sounds like a really good program.
Anybody else? All right. Item on the floor is to approve the consent and regular agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Anybody have any reports before I turn the meeting over to Dr. Gardner? Any board members? Looks like it's you, Dr. Gardner.
Okay, we've really enjoyed getting back to the work of working with students and teachers this month. It's been a really positive month. We have a lot going on within the state, and we've been really working on providing high quality, differentiated professional development. We're going to be doing more differentiated professional development as time goes on here and the year goes on, but our teachers are really working on focusing on standards right now. We're making a lot of progress, we feel. We're seeing good and positive impact on children at this point. There are a couple things that we're preparing for, and Mr. Pless is going to share with us a little bit about a parent guide that the state basically worked with, but we're sharing this at parent meetings with parents, giving them a guide, really a 10 ready, and Mr. Pless will give us a little update on that.
Again, just for the record, special thanks to Marcia Taylor, our elementary curriculum coach, our instructional coach, for preparing this. The idea came from another school system who had done something similar, and I think actually one of the meetings is taking place maybe even tonight at one school. So the elementaries will be having parent nights to inform the parents of our students of the changes that are coming down the pike as far as testing, what to expect, how they can be involved, what the school's doing, what are all the resources that are available to the students. And this is just a little quick guide to try to help them find out what they can do to make this transition as smooth as possible. Again, just for the record, in case you don't know and you haven't heard and you're asked, this is a huge transition year in testing for Tennessee that was put off for about a year through some legislative action last year. We're moving, everything is still TCAP. It falls under that umbrella, but the 10 Ready part is the English language arts and math component, which will be completely online. And the social studies, which we did a field test last year, will also be online, and it's under this MIST platform. We're actually practicing that right now. There's an open practice window, so all of our students who have a tested subject, so all of our 3rd through 8th grade students and all of our high school students who are in English 1, 2, or 3, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and U.S. History will be taking a practice test through the rest of this month. And there will be 2 other practice windows, one in January, one in March, and we'll get another chance to test this. And a lot of the practice is not only to see the material, because the material has changed, but also to understand the computerized format. There are some things on the computers that if you're not familiar with and you went into a testing session the first time, that could cause some maybe a little bit of anxiety, maybe delay a student completing tasks and things. So we're doing everything that we can. There's also a MICA practice site that's available for students to practice at any time. But again, all of our students are doing that right now, and then the high school actually begins their actual first part of the 10 Ready test the 2nd week of November, because we're on a block schedule, so those students have to do that. But anyway, those 3 subjects are tested on the MIST. Science will still be tested as it has in the past. It will be the exact same thing with TCAP and end of course testing. But we want our parents to know everything that's going on, everything that they can do as a parent to help their child get ready for this experience. As a general rule, our teachers and students will adjust to the new format and should excel. They haven't everything that's been done before, so we don't anticipate anything being any different. But if you have questions about the guide, feel free. You can ask me now or you can see me later. But we are trying to take the steps to give our students the best opportunity to be successful in this new format and change of test. And it is a significant change.
Do all the elementary schools have access to laptops to practice?
Well, they have access to, right now, we're only testing on the existing laptops and desktops that are available. 2 years ago, we received some funding for upgrades in technology in preparation for the PARC assessment, which again was removed. At that time, we purchased a large number of e-portals, they're tablets, and they were to be PARC ready. When PARC changed and we moved back into MIST, there's been a significant effort, and we really appreciate our tech people, Mr. Trent and John Day in particular, who have really been working to get these e-portals to where we can use them. And the goal is, eventually, we are going to test 3 e-portals tomorrow for the first time at Eastside. And our hopes are that all of these e-portals that we purchased for the purpose of online testing are going to be able to do what they said that they would be able to do, although we were purchasing for a different type of assessment at the time, at least a different format. So to answer your question, yes, they don't have their own, but they do have access to a device, and the testing coordinators have scheduled things really well for everybody to be able to take all of that. So, anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One positive I'll say about Dr. Newman and Mr. Pless, they've been working on a communication plan with our coaches and teachers, trying to make sure that we have training and support, and making sure that our teachers have the proper amount of communication that they need to be able to be informed on what's going on within the state and in our district. Public relations wise, Kayla is on board. We appreciate her being here tonight, and she's already working. She was at school with me today when we were working with Mr. Lindbergh's class on the rally that we had for a lot of different cars and things like that he brought in for his class, and she's been working all over the system already. So we appreciate that. But two things that we're going to be working on in the next couple months is an end-of-the-year report that will produce. It'll be a high-grade type publication that will go to all of our stakeholders to talk about some of our successes that we've had. And also, we'll be doing a small pamphlet that's going to be able to be distributed out to a lot of our stakeholders. They'll just give a one-page review of what the school system's about. And those are two things that we talked about in our strategic planning meeting that we had a couple months ago. And those are two things we're working on there. Her current work is really centered around the website that we have, trying to get our format and updates to where it's user-friendly. And she's working with our technology department on that at this point. Construction update. We had some good news, and these gentlemen Pat and Tom. Pat is our representative from GRC, and Tom Weems is our architect that's been working, and they wanted to give a little update for you.
Thank you. Good evening. I did want to give everybody an update where we are with the stadium. Obviously, we've had several games, so it's complete. We do have a couple of punch list items to take care of, but I did want to, if it's okay, take time just a second to just speak real briefly to the relationship that we developed, GRC's developed during this project, and what a great experience it's been. I've been doing this for a long time, over 30 years, and every now and then in the 30 years you get an opportunity to do a project that really, grabs hold of you and speaks to you. But this one I can say, between the teamwork with Tom Weems, the architect, and your all staff, I mean, Dr. Gardenauer, Mr. Van Huss, hate to start naming names because I'll leave somebody out, but it just really goes to show you what teamwork can accomplish. But also, just not from the standpoint of the community, but anytime, any of us, but us GRC, anytime that you have a chance to positively impact a kid's life, which I really believe that this project has done that and will continue to do this for a long time, gives you a great satisfaction and gratification. But with that being said, going back to the teamwork and everybody working together, through tax savings, through the school system buying a lot of the material themselves, there was about $86,000 savings realized in taxes alone. So, between, like I say, the school buying some of the materials themselves, a large quantity, that was quite a large savings there. And then also through the what we call the buyout and dealing with our subcontractors and trying to compress the schedule, there was a little over another about $102,000 saved on the construction part of it. So I'm not a great mathematician, but that adds up a little over $185,000 that was saved on the project. So, I'm proud to get to stand up here and report that, but I get to say it, but it took a lot of people to do it. So I just wanted to again thank you all. I live in Kingsport. I get fortunate to get to work in the Tri-Cities, and I cannot tell you how many times that the Elizabethton High School stadium gets bragged on. So maybe I'm biased because we were involved in it. GRC was involved in it, but I think y'all have a great facility, and we're just thankful for getting to be a part of it.
On behalf of the board and everybody that's there, goodness, that stadium is used all the time. There's a sense of pride that our community has in that stadium. It's so much fun to watch everyone walk in there. Of course, we got to be there on opening night to see it. I was there. Milligan College played soccer, and watching how much they enjoyed it. This is something that we always said, if we build it, everybody get excited about it. Mm-hmm. And you guys exceeded what we hoped for. It is a beautiful, beautiful place, and we're so thankful to you guys.
Well, again, we're just thankful to get to be a part of it. And the band room, it's clicking along, so I think we're on schedule there. Trying to get a roof on it before Thanksgiving, and hopefully start in renovation of the existing building sometime middle of November. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll say a few things about GRC and Tom Weems. What a lot of people do not see is all the time and effort that's spent off the clock. Both of these gentlemen, I think probably there's been 40 phone calls between Tom and I and Pat off hours during times because they care about what they do. And so I've just been very impressed with both. And so we appreciate all the extra time and effort because there's a lot of love in the project. So thank you, both of them.
And we really enjoyed the savings part. That was really
Yes,
nice.
that is always wonderful too. Okay, I did want to say some special things about two groups. Our girls volleyball team, who we will recognize coming up, had a historic season this year, and we will brag on them next month and invite them here to do that. Our band, a lot of people, think they scored ninth in their competition, but this is a huge competition this weekend, a very, very challenging one, and they came out and did a fantastic job, and so we're so proud of them too, and that's wonderful. And last thing is we're going to be partnering with Milligan in their brand new doctoral program, and they want to do exclusive partnership with us, helping our people and have them intern with our people. And so we think we're meeting about that on Thursday. So we think that's a positive thing, that they trust us enough to be their partner in that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, the first and only item on the agenda tonight, and all the years I've been on the board, I've never heard that said or got to say it, so I'm excited about that, is to approve granting tenure to Kristen Cannon, Amber Ebarb, Kristen Grindstaff, Tammy Markland, Sarah Snavely, Marcia Taylor, Carlo Wiles, and Emily Whitehead. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second. What does it take to earn tenure in the school system?
Yes.
And
You know what?
we skipped Randy.
We skipped Randy.
We'll come back. But what does it take to earn tenure? It's 5 years of hard work. It's all that sweat and sweat equity that you put in to make our schools what they are. Every person that I've looked at on the list definitely deserves to be here. They're not only good teachers, they're good people. So.
Well, we vote and then we bring them up.
Vote and bring them up.
All right. So item on the floor is to approve granting tenure to Kristen Cannon, Amber Ebarb, Kristen Grindstaff, Tammy Markland, Sarah Snavely, Marcia Taylor, Carla Wiles, and Emily Whitehead. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations. If you guys would please come forward.
What? No, they look like deer in the headlights, as a matter of fact.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Last but absolutely not least, Mr. Little, come and tell us the goings on at your school.
You're not the only one she did that to, though.
Yep, nope. I'm going every other week.
It was my fault.
And this time it was Dr. Gardner's
It was my
fault, so
fault.
that's kind of fun.
Sorry about that.
I'll keep with the momentum that's going on. At TA Duggar, we are now fully entrenched in our new testing platforms with Miss Micah, with language arts and math. We've had a few minor glitches today. It went offline statewide. That wasn't us. But what we've had at our school, we've been able to fix. Again, thanks a lot, Mr. Trent, our technology guys who have been helping us with that. So we're good with that. Mr. Moore, the days of the old school guidance counselor has changed, testing coordinator. He's worked very well, very hard. He's worked with Mr. Pless with our testing schedule. Seems that we're having to work our whole schedule around testing. There's only a few days a month that we're not testing. So The days we can have a fire drill are very limited. Our teachers have settled into their weekly formative assessments that they're doing and are now beginning to work with their data and how to interpret that and reteach items with their kids. I think it's a good thing. I think a lot of teachers were doing it, but I think looking at the data and turning that into our coaches and our principals will make a difference with our test scores. I appreciate Dr. Gardenauer and Dr. Newman for working with that and helping our people. Ms. Willocks, our coach at T.A. Duggar, is working very hard with our teachers. She is doing a good job. She's encouraging them. She's working with me as well as the administrative team in areas that we need to strengthen and improve on with our teachers and our attention to standards. Our 2 assistant principals are working very hard today. They attended the integrated leadership course, part 1 of that, which they'll bring back information tomorrow. Our recent bean supper over the weekend, which Ms. Brewer, you know all about. It was a successful fundraiser for us. That's our lifeline at T.A. Duggar. It keeps us going. A special thanks to Ms. Rachel Williams, who did what Ms. Brewer used to do and help run that whole event, the volunteers, the entire staff, the community, just the support of everyone in our school and our system. Athletics, just to touch on a couple of things. Our football team finished 3rd in our conference, which, as you know, our conference, we play Kingsport, Bristol, Johnson City, Greenville. This is our 3rd winning season in a row at T.A. Duggar. Our volleyball team, I think, is full swing along with the high school, finished 3rd in the conference. Cross country had 2 runners qualify for the state meet. That's Lydia Schubert and Jaden Anderson. They'll be traveling this week to Knoxville, compete in the state. Girls soccer team made the championship again this year against Science Hill. We've just finished work on our football field at T.A. Duggar in the stadium to try to maintain that field, as this community as well as our schools will need that in the coming years. Our baseball and softball fields, due to all the work that we've had from Mr. Van Huss, our board, has matured and it's growing, and as far as seed taking place, and it's really, really looking nice. So we appreciate everything. It's a good place to be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy, what's enrollment at T.A. Duggar?
We're right at about 580, between 580 and 586.
How many tuition students?
I think I had that one. I texted that. I think 170, somewhere around there.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Little. Couple things before we go. We have talked about setting a date for our retreat with Randall Bennett, having him come and do a thing for us from TSBA. I think probably at this point we need to look at the first of the year. I know once November starts, you know, everybody gets busy through the holidays. So I would like for us to look at the first of the year. We need to decide if we want to try to do it on a weekend, like a Saturday, or if we want to do it, take a day during the week. So just kind of be thinking about that. I'm going to contact him and get some possible dates, and then I'll send those out to everybody, and we'll just kind of vote from that. We've also kind of chatted about looking at our calendar and deciding if we want to keep the 3rd Thursday or if we need to possibly move that. So what I need to know from everyone is if we want to add that to the next agenda for discussion and to vote on. So I want to, you know, just kind of get a feel if I mean, you know, the dates need to work for us. And so if we need to keep the 3rd Thursday, we can. If we want to look at possibly moving that, then just let me know if you want that added to the next month's agenda, and then come prepared to talk about it. So, anybody else got anything? All right, our next regularly scheduled board meeting will be held Tuesday, November 17th. We always do that just to kind of work around Thanksgiving, so it's going to be a Tuesday night, November 17th at 6:30 here. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I gotta get a second.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you.
So November 19th.